committee now, you need to elect a chair for the proceedings.
Brian, do you want to be chair?
No, it's vice chair, or chair for today.
You're muted.
I'm not vice chair, am I?
No,
I think David
No, I was just explaining we don't have one.
Yes, I thought David was.
No, he's not.
Or
Right, go on.
I would like to vote for Crispina, if she would take the duty on.
Second.
Okay. There you have it, Dominic.
Thank you. Not quite press ganged into it, but something close. But right, okay, Chair. Whenever you're ready, we're ready with you.
Okay. Should we just make sure everybody's here? Elaine, Val, Brian, me, Nana, we have had an email saying she will be absent. David and Martin.
That's it. So that's everybody, Chair, with the exception of Nana.
Yeah. Okay, first item on the agenda is to receive the minutes from the last meeting.
Chair, if we could just look at the two remaining items on item number 1 and 2. We've got the declarations of interest and any members of the public present.
Mm-hmm. Any declarations of interest?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And there are no members of the public present or in the lobby, Chair.
Okay.
Chair, by way of explanation, you can deal with item number 2 in anticipation that Nana would be with us this evening. The actual minutes were delivered to her house prior to her informing us that she wouldn't be here. So as long as committee can agree the accuracy of the minutes, I will forward a hard copy for you to sign at a later date.
Thank you. So are we happy?
Accept the minutes, Chair?
Sorry, David, could you repeat that, please?
I said I propose that we accept the minutes for accuracy.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Public involvement.
Still nobody knocking on the door, Chair, so we can move past that one.
Yeah, we'll move past that. Okay, home ground. Did we see some of the notes that Nana made with regards to these? Has everybody got a copy to look at?
yeah.
Yeah.
No. What no?
Sent an email tonight. No, this morning, 11:35.
Sorry, say that again, Elaine. Your
Sorry, Nana's email came in at 11:35 this morning.
yes.
I haven't seen it at all.
She mentioned
I'll forward it to you.
yeah, she mentioned that it was quite, even though it was sparse in its content, it was quite cramped. And she also thought about changing the front page slightly to have the melting pot as the front page, and the work that they did over the summer with the 5,000 grant that we gave them.
Yeah.
What do we
I
think?
heard the idea of the pirate ship on the front page is nice.
You see?
ask when this is due to go out?
Elaine Webb, sorry, when did we say we would allow this to go to print?
Can you hear me, Chair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The magazine appeared in second week of August.
Because
Okay.
by then this treasure hunt will be almost over.
Well, the treasure hunt was that initiative was done just 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we had already agreed that the magazine was going out in August. I can try and bring it forward.
Oh no, actually it says the drawer entries have to be in before 4th of September, so they'll need that information, won't they?
Could I just ask, through the chair, could I ask Elaine Webb? Elaine, are you? There's a slight distortion on your microphone, but are you able to hear us okay?
No, it is distorted.
Right. Okay. Elaine's actually got has run through the magazine and has a page by page listing of all the suggestions that need to be covered in terms of some typos and some spacing issues. Elaine, is it possible for you to just lead us through that list at all?
Dominic, having trouble streaming, you've got the list. You can go through it, please, just till I sort this out. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, that would rely on me being able to find the list again, Elaine, which I've temporarily misplaced. It didn't print out as anticipated. It's certainly not here. So just give me a minute and I'm going to print that out again.
Could you share an email to us all? Would that be helpful? No?
I'm not sure how helpful that would be.
Yeah.
Right, I've got that list open now. Now clearly there was the issue around the front cover, and that was the image that was there is only one that was there as an item. So so clearly Nana has suggested the pirate ship. So that's kind of the first page. Turning over, and then you need to decide whether you're going with these suggestions or not. On page 3, in the first paragraph to be moved up slightly, spacing between paragraphs to be reduced, and then in column 3, towards the bottom, is to create a new paragraph where we say, lastly, a plea to you all to let us know what would you like the Parish Council to concentrate its resources on, and that's to separate that, because obviously that was quite an important request from us that councillors get involved in the consultation process.
Yeah.
Clearly they are already, because we've had nearly 400 responses,
Really?
which is excellent after 1 week. So that was page 3. Now I appreciate that some of you may already have just made some notes on your own copies. So if I go past a page or something that you've highlighted, please shout out.
Yeah. Dominic, I think we have one shout out from Brian, if that's okay.
While we're doing this, I have a question, or not a question, or something to say, basically, that there appears to be a chair of a committee who has omitted to have submitted his end of year report for this one, i.e. myself. Is there still time and space to do this?
I
think that you're not the only one. There is at least one other one, Brian.
I actually did mine and sent it to Elaine, but Elaine said it was too late for this.
Yeah. So we were just intending to run those two in the next copy. That in the next edition. That's what we were going to do.
Okay. Fine.
Chair, if I may.
Yes, Elaine.
Elaine, Servo's report did not come in time. And as Dominic said, we've agreed that Servo and Councillor Greenwood report, and also Councillor Patrick's report personnel with Councillor Bain on finance, so in the October edition.
Sorry, Lynn, I did struggle to hear that. Dominic, could you make out what she just said?
I apologise, Chair. I was just actually reading my notes for the next part, so you're going to have to ask Elaine to briefly try and repeat that.
Apologies, Elaine. Every word you say is broken in half.
Okay.
Sorry.
All of the outstanding annual reports will be published in the October edition.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, so Chair, moving on. On page 4, the article, the piece on the implementation of the virgin pavement parking, we realised that there are a few spacing issues that we need to address there, and a few inaccuracies, and towards the end we need to insert some details when the that particular ban was introduced, so they are all in hand. On page 5, on to do with the treasure hunt.
Dominic,
Hello.
very briefly, the last paragraph of the virgin pavement ban says 100% of residents were unanimously in favour. I don't think if it was 100%, you don't need to say unanimously.
Okay, yeah, we can look at that. No problem. Thank you, Martin.
Yeah.
There's a missing word on the treasure hunt information. It says to enter the draw to be in with the chance of winning some treasure, an adult will need, and then we'll need 2 emails. So that's something that's being identified. On page 6, column 2, paragraph 1, on the second line, there's a T missing from term in terms of our long-term plan. On paragraph 4, line 7, I beg your pardon, priorities should be prioritise. And on line 7, we need to have lowercase for residents as opposed to uppercase, and that's everything on that particular piece. On page 7, paragraph 2, line 7, we need to have a lowercase for landscape. It's currently an uppercase L. Moving forward, in the communications committee piece, on paragraph 1, an uppercase for communications committee. Column 2, paragraph 2, line 6, uppercase for committee. Line 10, and though delete we, so we're going to delete we and insert there are, and there are grants, and then paragraph 5, insert also at the beginning of the line. I think that was everything on that one. Page 9 on the VE Day film camp. Column 1, line 1 should read half term, not half time. We need a line 3 should read ran.
Ran, yeah.
And we need an uppercase P for parish at the end of that paragraph. In the second column, line 3, a comma after crewing, and line 8 should read VE day as opposed just to VE. So that's that. And then on the Jeff Taylor advert, the bit where it says application forms are now available for consideration, we need to go lowercase consideration. And then on the Age UK grant, at the very end of the piece, we're looking at provided rather than providing. Looking on to page 10, we've got the Chairs Council, there's the report. There's a number of issues there, and they're predominantly around upper and lower case issues, and we just need to be consistent in the way that we're doing that. So I think the chair in his absence would be happy with us changing those. And on the buildings and property, there's a few inaccuracies there which I believe Elaine has run past Ray again, so we're going to change it because the inference is incorrect. So we're proposing to change those. Those of you that have taken a look at page 11 will appreciate that's the balance sheet rather than the actual accounts for the end of the year. So Crispina, I'm sure you were picking up on that one. So the correct document will be enclosed at that point there. And there are, as I said, there are a few additional pieces that we need to pick up through the remainder of the buildings and property report, which finishes underneath the accounts section. We're moving on, nothing on page 12, page 13. Hello.
Sorry. Don't forget that we are replacing the text on the pirate path officially.
Yeah. Well, that is the bit that that Nana particularly picked up on. Elaine, do you just want to quickly talk about that, please?
Okay, I've redone an article on that, including a little bit of history and a map showing the actual land we've taken over. Each 10 meters will be, they've been moved around a bit to be able to get all of this in. So I'm due tomorrow before noon send you the redrafted copy, and if you can look at that article and any others we've amended, and then get back to me before 5 o'clock tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah, thanks, Elaine.
Okay, thank you.
And we've got just on the melting pot, we've just picked up a couple of typos on page 13 that need changing there, but nothing significant. Page 14, excuse me, I need to carry on with my notes. We just need to make a very small change at the end, and just that show that was actually put together by Tracy in the office. That's whose experience it was. Page 15, new ways of working. It's column 2, paragraph 3, the penultimate line. It should be vastness, not vast. And below that, the advice work our service resumption, there's a small typo that we need to address within that.
Okay.
Kids Corner, I can't see that there's anything on that, Elaine, but going back to the Wallstone parking pavement ban issue, there's two graphics, two images to go with that. One is of the signage, and one is the impact that the ban has potentially had with a nice clear kind of road down there. Elaine, could you, I know you're still having problems with the audio, but just sort of say what the plans were for Kids Corner page?
Kids Corner, the new graphics for the Fox and Badger one, and also the graphic of the tractor to go in the competition.
Okay, thank you. So those are the items that have been identified. As Elaine said, we're going to have a kind of a further revision tomorrow. Elaine, if I'm understanding correctly, that's going to be distributed again to the committee?
Yes, as soon as I've had the amended draft, which,
Yeah.
as I said, I will get out to you before 12 p.m.
Okay, and then so if committee, if you have the time and the opportunity to respond to that would be brilliant. But you appreciate that we will need to move it on in order to get the magazine out as soon as possible. Is there anything else that we've missed?
Brian, is your hand up? Or are you? Does anybody else have anything that they want to raise?
So,
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. We will proceed with that as described.
Okay, thank you. So should we wait until we receive the email tomorrow and then go ahead?
Yeah, in essence, that's, you know, if we have the confidence of the committee to make the changes as described, there is obviously some slight, there will be a few additions in terms of the graphics we've talked about and the changes to Kids Corner, and we will then distribute it. Anybody that wants to come back can do, but we will need to move on at that point to send it to the printers.
Thank you. All right, do we have, so moving on to the way that we distribute the, number 4, item number 2, how we distribute the home ground magazine. We need to look at different ways of distributing. I think we last time we identified some areas that don't receive the magazines, and Nana went out with the landscaping team and did some deliveries. Did we manage to distribute all of them at that time, Dominic?
We did in as much as the locations she visited, Chair, she was able to leave some. We still had some additional copies that at the end of the distribution run. I think that is one side to it. I think that the main point that we have here is that we have had problems with the distribution of the magazine, and to get as comprehensive coverage as we can do. I know that it's something that Elaine has taken up with Bespoke, and also I've had discussions this week with Door to Door, who do the distribution on our behalf. Now, the consultation did hit some problems, certainly in Fishermead last week, with a number of the corner blocks not being delivered in the way that we would like. That's something that's been addressed with the distributor, and clearly we need to get the next magazine out in a a week or two. So unless the committee are going to very quickly come up with an alternative solution, I think we need to work within our existing arrangement for this. It's whether you then want to do something for a future copy. The existing provider does use quite a sophisticated tracking system, which actually gives a graphic. It's linked to an app, and it can give traces of where the distributors have been up and down the various streets. It'll give the timings that were there. So it's not just a case of someone driving up and down a street with the phone in their pocket. It's done a kind of obviously to gauge the pace that they did it. What it doesn't tell us is whether they encountered a problem at a particular corner block or a particular house, etc. Door to door are still claiming that they've got a coverage in excess of 98%. And we've identified a way of working so if they have got any issues, that we will get full visibility of those, so that if there's a way that we want to retrospectively address those, we can. They do a follow-up system at the moment, so if they've identified properties or corner blocks that they can't get into, a car that is now going out the next day to attempt to get in on a second occasion. So I think they've made their system more robust. They have got a tracking system, but I think we very much still need to monitor it to make sure we're getting as high a delivery as we possibly can.
Thank you, Dominic. So are we all in agreement that we should just carry on and just carry on with the way we've been distributing for now? If there's anything that you come up with, if we could let the office know and they can try and put that in place.
Okay, agreed.
Okay. Right. Item 5, website accessibility, page 7.
Yeah, I read that.
So everybody read it? They understand? Yeah. Okay.
No.
No. Who said no?
Chair, could I make a suggestion? I don't know whether the rest of the committee were caught the suggestion that Nana made before she departed, which that we should work with Two Story Partnership, who currently maintain the site for us, to take us through the initial steps of making sure that we fit the full accessibility criteria.
I think that's a good idea.
Now, at this moment in time, we're very much still in the evaluation phase, as detailed at the bottom of page 13 within the pack. And if you were to go with Nana's suggestion, Two Story Partnership have made themselves familiar with the document that you're reading at the moment. They have used the app to do an initial review of our website. It's identified a few improvement areas, but we just asked them to put that work on hold until such time the committee officially asked them to get on with the work, and at which point we will start to move into the following phases, sort of like 6 right through to 23. But we need to get something moving, and the suggestion is that we go with Two Story Partnership to carry out the initial phase.
I'm happy with that. I'll propose that we do that, or second it to Nana's proposal if that's so.
Okay. Martin?
I was going to say, seems a very sensible way forward.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. So we've got a second Okay, item 6, projects committee budget. The committee is invited to note the project proposals for the next 5 years need to be submitted by the end of October 2020. All project proposals must comply with the project policy, be detailed on a project request form, including costings and breakdown of expenditure. In the first instance, completed project proposals will be considered at the September committee meeting. Project proposals are not required if there is an existing budget cost code. All cost codes will be reviewed as part of the annual council budget process. Have we had a look at the form? It's on page 17.
Chair, this is just the flag that's run up at this time of year annually, just to say, you know, we've got this opportunity to come back in September and October to put these project proposals forward. You will recall they're the ones that subsequently the committee either agree to support or don't. They're then put into the pot that goes to the November meeting of council for council to again give further consideration to, and then incorporated into the draft budget, which is time to go to council in December. So it's just a reminder to everybody to use the time ahead and bring some budget proposals back in September. So it's just a note at this stage, Chair.
Okay. Item 7. Thank you, Dominic. Item 7, social media review. Note that this will be in the September agenda.
I think, yeah.
Okay, if nobody else, Elaine,
I
yes.
just wanted to make a comment on the social media review, that I think that's really good, because Tracy has had to do a lot of the work and the promotion for the little people in the parish herself, and we're paying Gem Media, and Gem hasn't come up with the goods. So I think we really need to seriously think about that, because Tracy did have a chat with her, and she said she needs a hook to make things happen and join us up with other Facebook pages. But so now we've got a hook, and she's just inquired about our money and our fees, but not about what she needs to do.
Yeah, I think we've been gracious. We've given her a chance, and it's time to have that review and just decide whether going forward we'd want her services. And I think, judging from the output, it might be a no, so it might be considering a new provider.
Or keep it in-house, that's another option, isn't it? But we need to make sure we've got staff resources to do that.
Thank you, Elaine. Okay, that brings us to the end of the meeting. The next date, 22nd of September. David?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to clarify the calendar and dates for the committee, because on the calendar for council committee meetings, what was circulated, I'd got this down for the 28th of July. Have I missed something out? Because the last meeting was, as we've already agreed, and then there wasn't one in March. So how do we arrive at this new date?
Chair, that was through a discussion that was held at council with the proposal to actually bring this forward to coincide with getting the magazine out as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dominic.
Chair, I will now stop recording as the meeting has finished.